Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation. We are live in Studio B. We've moved over to the Cougar Council Room to discuss championship golf. Alongside Jason Shepard, I'm Spencer Linton. Joining us now are Todd Miller and Cole Ponich. Todd, of course, in the coaching role, and Cole in the starring role. Congratulations. Ticket is punched.
We brought the ticket right here. Let's go.
How did that fit did that go in the, underneath the seat possibly? Or where did that go on the
Fit in
way
the
back?
overhead bin?
I actually had to get back. My daughter was leaving the next day for the Mexico MTC, and so I had a really good friend that put me in a very small plane, and we threw this behind us right there.
You made it work.
So he got me home for my daughter the next day. Couple really emotional 20 hours right there.
Yeah.
Team winning, and then my daughter leaving the next day. I was a complete mess. My wife was a mess, but we're doing better now.
Cole,
Stabilized.
can you take this man and get him a cookie or a drink or something after? He's been through a lot.
Best thing we can bring him is a national champion.
Yeah,
There it is.
Yeah, yes.
I love it.
Well said. Okay, so for those of you who are not aware of what BYU did in Reno, they had to suspend play after 7 holes of day one because it was crazy. There's snow, the winds are out of control. So, Cole, how did you stay calm in those conditions when they did get better, but it was still kind of crazy on day 2?
Yeah, I think our team's done a really good job of being mentally tough this year. We've worked a lot with Bobby, sports psychologist, and yeah, we kind of knew the weather was going to be bad before we got there, and just all talked amongst each other and just said, hey, let's let all the other teams complain about the weather, and we're just going to focus on what we can control, and I think that's exactly what we did.
Knowing what the ultimate goal is, and I want to ask both of you from the different perspectives, what did winning regionals mean to you guys, knowing what the goal is?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of confidence going into national championship, and it's pretty cool for all the guys on the team this year to be part of some BYU history. I think that's the first regional that we've ever won, so mostly just taking the confidence going into next week, and yeah, we're excited.
What about from your perspective, Todd?
I mean, as a coach, all you're trying to do with your players day in and day out is build confidence.
Yeah.
Got the confidence. We know that they can all play. Like, you recruit the best players, you bring them in, you're trying to build confidence. And so doing something like that, beating a number 4th ranked team in the country, Texas, I mean, we don't get a chance to beat them very often. And so this is just huge. These guys are saying in their mind, we can do this. Like, and that's what you want as a coach. You want every one of your guys standing over on the tee box in their pre-shot routine saying, I can do this.
Todd, you're a guy who I look at, and it feels to me that you're never fazed by anything. Like, I want to be that in my life, okay? But what are your nerves like when you get into the later holes and you're like, we might actually win this regional, not just finish in the top 5, because if you finish in the top 5, you go to the championships, but we might win this thing. How are your nerves in those moments?
You know, I didn't really have any nerves. That was the great thing is, like, Matt Thurman, who's the coach at Arizona State that played at BYU, and I roomed with him, he goes, there's not many regional championships that you walk the last 9 and just have a nice walk. You know, you're just feeling it the whole time. Every shot, every player, you're feeling the nerves. And he goes, when you get that chance to just walk the last 9, enjoy the walk with your players and just love it. And we really got to walk that last 9 and just enjoy the birdies that were being made. I mean, I walked with Cole almost every hole that championship, and he was just rock solid. So for me, like, I wasn't seeing a lot of some of the other stuff that was going on. He was just almost every fairway, every green. Even when he hit a bad shot, he was back in play in the right spot. And so as a coach, it's a beautiful thing.
You know, Cole, and you both mentioned the word confidence, and maybe that's the answer, but this team tends to play its best golf when it matters most. So how do you guys continually rise to the occasion time and time again? Where does that come from?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think a lot of us, I mean, between the 5 of us, I think we just have a lot of grit on this team, and it seems like when the pressure's up and things, like you said, matter the most, it seems like all 5 of us kind of rise to the occasion, and that's a cool identity to have as a team, and I think that's going to be a big advantage for us going into the national championship.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm always amazed at a golfer's ability to recap a specific shot when you take so many shots over a 3-day event. But I'm going to put you on the spot here, Cole. Of all the great shots you hit, what was your favorite, and what was that sequence like mentally and then executing the shot?
Probably hole 5 the last day. Hit it. There's a tree like in the middle of the fairway, and I hit it direct, like that was my target line, and I actually hit it just right at it. So,
Oh, is this the Sergio slice?
yeah.
Yes.
And I was kind of like, I don't know, I might have to chip this out. And he was just hardcore pushing, like, oh, you got this all day. So I ended up hitting like a big 40-yard slice around the tree where like anything left was all OB. And that for me just like felt like the pressure was kind of amped up, because if I didn't slice it, it felt like things could maybe go a little sideways, but ended up hitting a perfect shot, making birdie there, and that's kind of when the momentum started going.
That's what we call being in the zone.
So Todd, one of the things this week, obviously, there's been a lot going on around BYU Athletics recently, including a new athletic director. And Brian Santiago, when he was introduced the other day, one of the things that he talked about a couple of times was the importance for BYU Athletics to play its best at the highest levels. From a golf standpoint, you guys are certainly doing your part. How does that resonate with you when you hear that from Brian?
You know, I've been hearing that for 15 years from Brian. We need to be relevant. BYU Athletics needs to be relevant. And you know, for Bruce, Carl Tucker for over 30 years, Bruce for over 30 years, we've always been relevant in golf. And Carrie's doing a fantastic job with our women's team, winning conference championships. And so that's where we want to be. And like you guys are saying, these guys rise to the occasion. I mean, we have a lot of experience on this team. I mean, this guy's a junior Ryder Cupper. You don't have a lot of those that play for you. He could have gone any team in the country, could have gone to any program, and for him to come and trust us, we just have a lot of experience at big moments on this team, and so it's great to have that as a coach, you know, and just have a couple leaders on your team that have, you know, they felt the big moments, they've had the camera on them when it matters.
Todd, how much do you enjoy beating Brian in golf?
You know, I think that is more between Brian and my son. It's Brian and Nick. Every time Nick shows at the golf course and Brian's there at Riverside, it's like, let's go right now. and so they have little matches. I don't play against Brian much, but Danny and my son and Brian, they have some pretty good matches. So it's fun for my kid just to see him out there. And that's one of the things I love about Brian. Passion. You love to be around people that are passionate about what they do.
Yes.
And that's what he wants with all of his coaches, that they're all in, they're passionate about winning and being great. And that's what I love being about Brian Santiago for that specific reason.
Cole, let's finish with this. Speaking of the team dynamic and culture, why do you feel like this group is poised to do something magical at the national championship?
I think it's the first time in a while that all 5 guys in our lineup are very capable of going out and shooting 64, and we all have a lot of experience on those big, tough golf courses. And I think each guy has a lot of confidence in their own game and amongst each other. Like, this seems like a different group as far as being able to trust each other, not worrying about what the other guy's doing, because you know they're going to go out and give it everything they have. And I think that's the best dynamic we have on this team, probably the best team I've been on since I've been at BYU.
Wow, that's saying something, because you played on some great teams.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who have not already followed the account, Todd, these people need to follow Todd Miller on Instagram and the BYU Golf Account, because he's like the best live reporter ever. Okay, how do they get involved, Todd? How do the fans get involved and follow you on social media?
Miller.
Yeah,
It's going to see an uptick in followers now.
Yeah.
Follow the man. So fun. You'll be reporting essentially from the national championship. But kidding aside, we're so thrilled. Like, it's very exciting to watch what BYU golf is doing on the women's side and men's side. So congratulations to you.
I got to go to some more baseball games. I show up, they hit 2 dingers, a couple triples. Like, I was like, man, this is every game. So I'll show up on a day other than a Thursday, like you said.
Yeah, we need tonight, tomorrow. If we can get you there, that'd be great.
It's been a full 2 days for you. Yeah, speaking of emotions, okay?
And I've got 2, Simon, Quan, and Owen. I've got 2 nephews playing at BYU right now. So go Cougars.
There we go.
Cool.
Always
Awesome.
go Cougs.